G'day, welcome to the BYD Owners YouTube channel. It's been a while since I've had a proper conversation with you, particularly around the seal. As you know, I've ordered a seal, a performance seal and a premium, and I wasn't sure which one to get. But there's been a few things that have kind of come up which has made me reconsider the getting the seal. I thought you might be interested in what they are. So I'll put my glasses on so I can read. So one of the reasons I wanted to get the seal, one of the reasons why I can even afford to get an EV vehicle, you've got to remember I'm retired. I don't do a lot of driving other than to go surfing or to go to water skiing. So I don't do much driving. So to justify an EV, I do the occasional Uber. I like doing the Uber because you meet, you talk to people, you get to drive the car, you talk about the car, and basically it's fun. So one of the reasons why I wanted to get the seal is because you get a lot more money when you get a premium car in Uber. So for example, so there's different levels of fare with Uber. There's the Uber X, which I'll give you an example. From Mermaid Beach to the Gold Coast, Uber X, I would get, or the driver would get, $35. But Uber have also got what they call premium. They've got a premium ride. So the premium ride from Mermaid Beach to the Gold Coast is about $65. So it's about 80% more. So it's quite lucrative. So I thought that if I got a seal and it was a premium fare, then I'd be able to get more money. And all the Teslas, the X and the S, all the 3s and the Ys, and the Polestar, all of the Polestars too, are all considered by Uber premium. So I don't think there'd be any problem in the seal being a premium. But when I approached Uber, they said, no, we don't regard the seal as premium. So I went to BYD and over a couple of weeks kind of talked to them about why isn't it premium. And they said, well, it's got nothing to do with us. It's up to Uber. I said, yeah, but resale value is important when it comes to Uber because a lot of cars are when they're resold, are bought by Uber drivers. So what can we do about it? Who can I ask? I went to the local manager and said, who can I go to at BYD and get them to go and talk to Uber? Oh, he said, go to customer care. Okay. So as recently as this morning, I got onto Uber, and they tell me that it's not premium. That the seal's not premium. They're not casting aspersions on it. They're just saying that it's not in their list of premium cars. I said, what do we have to do to get it to be premium? And they said, oh, well, it isn't. So that put a big spanner in my works in buying the seal. The other issue is that I kind of came across, the more I delved into the beeping, the more I realised that it's a serious problem. Now, why do I say that? I did a lot of software development, as I keep saying. One of the things I did, one of the areas of software development, I did what's called incident management. So I did a lot of the work on tunnels, traffic tunnels, where incident management is really important. And we do things like, we detect when there's a pedestrian in the tunnel, we detect if a car's going the wrong way, there's a whole lot of different things. And there's a criteria around that. So what we need to be able to do is to correctly identify an incident. And it's tested. So there's two parts of that testing. One is how many times do you get it right? which is called a positive, and how many times do you get it wrong, which is called a false positive. Now, you can, if you had some artificial software or artificial intelligence software that predicted that it's going to rain tomorrow, and it predicted that it was going to rain, and the way it did that is it predicted it was going to rain every day. So when it did rain, it was correct. When it didn't rain, it was incorrect, and that was a false positive. And the problem we have is with the testing that the cars do to get their 5 rating. They really, I'm sure they don't test false positives. So the bipping that we're getting for no reason is a false positive. Now, they have to make big changes to their software to be able to have it so that you don't have false positives. It's got to get it right. So basically, if it says there's a pedestrian in front, or there's a car in front, or we're veering off the lane, it has to be right 100, at least 100% of the time, or 90% of the time, or 95%, whatever. And that's the criteria. But there is no criteria about how often is it wrong. So if they have to go and modify the software so that you don't get unnecessary bipping, then that's major. If we say turn it off, then we no longer have that function. So one of the reasons we get a 5-star rating is because we do have that feature. By turning it off, you've no longer got a 5-star rating. That's why they won't turn it off. So I see that the bipping is actually a major issue. Now, it didn't happen with the 803. I don't know why it is. It was just maybe it's a lot better in predicting, or maybe it's just better. But there wasn't so many false positives. Anyway, so that's a drama. I really don't want to be driving around with bipping all the time. And I really don't want to turn it off because I want that safety thing built in. So that's number 2. Number 3. So the BYD seal is actually lower than the Tesla 3. Now, admittedly, it's only because of a protrusion that comes down right at the front, as Tesla Tom showed, a really good example of that, and you can take it off. And if you don't take it off, when you go over some speed bumps, it's going to scrape. I don't want to take it off because it's there for a reason. I don't know what the reason is, but it's there for a reason. So I mean that is an issue that I'm not really happy with. That's number 3. Number 4 is the storage. So it's actually got 2/3 of the storage of the Tesla Model 3, the new Model 3. And storage is important, particularly if you're doing, as I will be and other people will be, doing Uber, and that is the ability to be able to put cases in and that sort of thing. So the lack of storage is an issue. I know I did a demonstration where I put 2 bags in, but when I did the same with Tesla, there's a lot more room. So that is number 4. The other is the software. Number 5 is the software. So the software just isn't very mature. What I mean by that is the user interface is not intuitive, and the user interface is it's just not easy to use, and it doesn't have all the functionality. The other part of it is the prediction of your range, the prediction of how far you've got to go. All of that is wrong, and it's wrong in the 803 as well. But it's wrong in the seal, and it's not wrong in the Tesla 3. I'm not trying to push Tesla 3, but I mean that is an issue for me in the seal. None of these I must point out, none of these are game changers in the sense of killers. Not something that's going to say, well, because of that, I'm not getting the seal. But they do add up, and it's making me reconsider. The reset laydown. So when you lay the back seat down, the centre seat belt goes up to the parcel shelf, and it's just sitting up there, so that you can't put something wide straight through because the seat belt's in the way. I mean, that's really, really bad design. Now, there are a lot of good things about the seal: the heads-up display, the display itself. The size of the battery. I mean, there's lots of things that are great about the seal. I'm just saying that I'm now having second thoughts because, if I can't use it for Uber Premium, the Atto 3, I mean, it's got no advantage over the Atto 3. The Atto 3, basically, I can put more stuff in the Atto 3 than I can in the seal. Don't get the false positives in the Atto 3. So for all these reasons, I'm thinking very seriously about whether I cancel the seal, and that's not good. But anyway, so that's what I'm thinking. I'd like your thoughts.